Everyone's mad at Brandon for his right-wing immigration exec order. Israel's bot farm portraying themselves as leftists exposed. What shirt are you wearing? Looks like you're pushing Z right now. The only Z I'm pushing is the Z's in Jezza, baby. Did you stop playing The Walking Dead? Yeah, I did. It's called Finishing the Game in its entirety. It's also literally uploaded onto my gaming channel. Thoughts on Modi winning re-election in India last night? No more Indian politics. We did it for like 3 hours yesterday. Okay, we're done. We're done for now. Yeah, isn't it pretending to be anarchist, the Israel shit? Yep, it's awesome. Julian Castro was popping off on Brandon's immigration shit in the most goat-like way possible. Ilhan Omar was popping off. Everyone's mad at Brandon for his right-wing immigration exec order. Israel's bot farm portraying themselves as leftists exposed. What else? Oh, Brandon at D-Day. Talk about that. Wait, where the frick is my... Did you watch the new CoffeeZilla video? Your buddy's in it? Who's my buddy that's in a CoffeeZilla video? When people say that, it's like, I don't know. As an outsider, does anyone hate their community more than you? I don't blame you, to be honest. What? I don't hate my community. I love my community. What the fuck? If I hated my community, I wouldn't be fucking in here 24/7 round the clock streaming. Why do people think I think maybe people think I hate my community because I yell at people all the time in here. That's what it is. I don't know. Do you think Brandon actually thinks Ukraine is a success, or do you think he's just letting people telling him that? Graham Stevens is about an online bank that froze people's monies that YouTubers push. Wait, what? Yeah. I mean, there are people that I yell at that are in this community. Like long-term community members sometimes, because I have like higher expectations from them, and they'll get like really rad libby and like very annoying and make this community look cringe to the outside world and stuff. But like, other than that, when I'm yelling at somebody, it's usually someone that's not in the community. So yeah, I'm not gonna do the CoffeeZilla Graham Stevens video right now. It's crazy. Skip Bayless on Kyrie Irving. He says inch for inch, Kyrie's the most gifted player I've ever seen. It's true. Inch for inch is a little pause, little sus, a little zesty of him to say that. But I mean, it's Pride Month, right? So don't matter. Celtics in 6. You wish. Everyone's mad at Brandon for his right-wing immigration exec order. Israel bot farm portraying themselves as leftists exposed. Drama and more. Get in now. All right, I don't fucking know. I'll just What are you drinking? I am drinking Valant toasted coconut cold brew. It's my favorite type of cold brew. It's not a fucking ad. Don't say hashtag ad. It's not an ad. They've never paid me for anything. I just enjoy it personally. Okay. All right, here it is. We're blasting off, folks. We're blasting off. Let's go. Let's freaking go, fam. Let's go, Crody. Let's go, Crody. Virtue signaling, aren't we? Yes, I'm virtue signaling. I'm so cheese, fam. I'm so cheese, fam. Let's go, Crody. Why are you cheesing, fam? Oh, shit, you low-key with it. Yeah. Yeah. Never in your life attempted Toronto accent ever again, fam. Now this was confirmed real, will you react? This is... Part of the reason why I did not want to fucking show this to you guys is low-key because I don't want you to develop like... Well, one, I don't want you to just like have an aneurysm. Secondly, I don't want you to hate Canada that much. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like if I open this can of worms up, it is going to change the way we as a community view Canada dramatically. Like, I do not think that we can return from this moment. It's not even a joke. Like, you will want to do harm to Canada across the board for the crimes of Toronto and its existence. It is probably the worst thing that I've ever heard. It's just like really lame because like they're like, oh yeah, it's just a joke, fam. And it's like, yeah, but jokes should be funny and not like make me want to video game myself. Does this song cross Biden's red line? This should. Not Canada. This is Toronto's mess to clean up. I mean, the only benefit of this is like after this, you know, Bloc Québécois is gonna fucking blast this to be like, this is the reason why we must be liberated from the Anglophones. You know? The Anglophones, they are out of control. Skip the 1 minute to get the Drake's part. It's just so bad. It's so bad. You know what? This is not AI, bro. This is not AI. This is real. Like, he has been, dude, the thing that, like, Kendrick did so much damage to this man. He did so much damage to this man in a way where, like, I think now this is like, you know how Israel has a Samson option of like nuking the planet, you know, in a worst case scenario. I think that's what Drake is doing now, where like he got so humiliated and so thoroughly dismantled. Everybody's fucking talking about how, you know, certified lover boy, certified pedophile, everyone's singing it, is like a club banger. It broke his brain. So now he's just like trying to punish the entire world. Okay. Like, I feel like he's just saying like, no, listen, you don't understand. Like, I'm going to rap on the BBL Drizzy beat on a Sexy Red collab. Okay. I'm going to do a Sexy Red feature, and I'm going to fucking rap on the BBL Drizzy beat myself. I'm going to go and do this thing with like a very obvious meme guy. It is him trying to punish the world, I think. This is Japan after World War II got turned kawaii. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is how anime begins, dude. This is how Japan brought hentai to the world. This is how Japan brought anime to the world, which means maybe it'll be good. It'll fucking loop back into being good eventually. I don't know. Altered Rosebud, get to the news. Take a week off. Okay. Stop being fucking annoying. You're a grown ass woman. Okay. Take a week off, Shelby. Oh. That was awful. That was unimaginably bad. That was nuclear levels of cringe. I did not previously think that this level of cringe was something that we could arrive at. Turns out we can. Turns out Canada can be much worse than you ever thought. I think, honestly, at this point, it's time to fucking permanently invade Canada and annex Canadian territory to liberate Canadians. They will welcome us as liberators. They will welcome us with open arms. It's over. It's done. Yeah, this is like, we have to do what Canadians did to the indigenous population with the residential schools. You know what I mean? Like, we literally have to open up schools where we remove the Canuck. Like, we have to remove the Canadian ideology and just like Americanize them by force until, you know, they're just no longer producing stuff like this. Re-education camps, that kind of thing. Yeah, they must be liberated. Majority Report, thank you for the 414 viewer raid. Hope you had a good stream. Sorry that you guys had to join in on me saying some shit about Canada. You would understand, but you are spared from seeing the nuclear levels of cringe that Canadians whipped up in Toronto, fam. He was okay when you guys took him, not our fault. Did we listen to Grippy yet? No, we're not gonna listen to Grippy. I don't know what's going on. It feels like Kendrick just did things to people that he didn't even like specifically destroy. Like, he literally left J. Cole out and J. Cole did it to himself. No, it's not. We don't have to listen. Sean the Black, what's Grippy? Never heard of it. Dude, listen. What J. Cole literally is J. Cole is making an advocacy, making an argument to permanently make the Carolinas one, okay? No more North Carolina. It's all just one Carolina united for the crimes of Jebediah Cole, okay? Jeremiah Jebediah J. Cole. Like that in and of itself, the Grippy song in and of itself is basically the Wagwan Delilah of Jermaine Jeremiah Jebediah Cole, okay? What happened? Like, why did he do that? Why did he do that? Why did he do that? Why did he choose to do that to himself? Like, absolutely zero people. J. Cole was already pardoned? Yeah, but he did this after the pardon, bro. J. Cole literally fucking personally. Now you need to see it. 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 I wasn't going to fucking show it to you. Let's just show you the memes, actually. Fuck it. Let's just see the... What? Oh, God. I haven't heard Grippy. Can you play it? Is it bad? I feel like showing you Grippy right after Wagwan Delilah is going to make you want to, you know, do the sewer slide. No, you're not allowed. Like, straight up, you are not allowed. You are a 50-year-old man. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. No, you can't. You are not allowed to be horny, dude. He's 39. Shut the fuck up. He's 39. Oh, okay. So that's fine then. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here, man? What, bro? You cannot defend these lyrics, okay? You cannot defend these lyrics. You should not. You must not defend these lyrics. She liked my kick game. I can't even talk. I can't even talk. It just fucked me up. It fucked me up. I talk for a living for 10 fucking hours every day, and this song has rendered me incapable of speech. It's giving me psychic damage. Fuck. I'm serving the 3-minute ad break. This is one of the few instances where you're probably luckier that you are unsubscribed for $5, $6 come July 11th, or for free with a Twitch Prime, and you will see a 3-minute ad break instead of this shit, okay? People keep riding Kendrick like he destroyed both of them when it was rumored that he got J. Cole to back down from the beef through Schoolboy Q. You can't convince me he was going to be able to manage both Drake and Cole simultaneously. You are literally the most delusional person on the planet while we're currently experiencing that. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Bro, this song will turn people into fucking Volcells. This song will make people do the opposite. You know how the baby boom happened? Okay? If this song gets mass released, if people listen to this on the radio, no one's fucking ever again, okay? This is going to cause people to become ace, like forever. We're done. Western civilization falls, okay? Western civilization falls when they hear J. Cole say things like, I want to hit your kidneys. I want to take your children to Disney. Are ever going to, the last time we're ever going to do like a D-Day celebration with these dudes, because they're all like 100 plus at this point. Okay. We'll start off with this one.
From Normandy, France, at the American Cemetery here on a quiet pine bluff that overlooks Omaha.
This obviously is like the only time pretty much the only time America was on the right side of like an invasion and military action. So like, of course, you're gonna dick ride it into oblivion. Honestly, it's valid. It's one of those few instances where it's like, you know, unconditional support. U.S. military action, phenomenal work, good job. Obviously, the USSR carried, but like, you know, it is the good dub here. This is the one instance. It's such a glaringly obvious dub in this circumstance that, like, you know, they kind of rode with that permanently to be like, remember the Nazis though? We did that shit, and then they were like doing Nazi shit all around the fucking planet. Lamau, what about Iraq, dumbass? Yeah, you're right. Another incredible dub, similar to defeating the fucking Nazis, was killing 1 million Iraqis, dude. Oh my lord, how wonderful.
Beach, scene of the bloodiest fighting of D-Day. And we are here, of course, because tomorrow on CBS Mornings, we are marking D-Day's 80th anniversary. We're going to show you the events honoring all those who died here and also talk about what they saved. And a conversation as well with Secretary of State Antony Blinken about the new war now raging in Europe. Charlie D'Agata will be with us, Ed O'Keefe as well. But right now we find Ed in Paris, where President Biden arrived just a few short hours ago to be part of this important D-Day anniversary, a delicate time for the president. Ed, good morning.
Tony, good morning. The president now here for 5 days of commemoration and events designed to reinforce the U.S.-French relationship. He heads to Normandy, where you are, tomorrow to join French President Emmanuel Macron, King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Ukrainian President Zelensky. On Friday, he'll give a speech at Pointe du Hoc near Normandy, where the White House says he will focus on the future of democracy around the world. Saturday is the president's formal state visit to France, expected to include a big military parade through the streets of Paris and a state dinner that evening. Sunday, he visits the cemetery where American soldiers and Marines who fought in World War I are buried. All of this, again, designed to draw attention to the American sacrifice here in Europe over the course of those two world wars and talk a bit with his contemporaries on the world stage about the future. Tony.
All right, Ed, thank you.
This is my favorite.
Floyd Blair is 103. Dick Rung turns 100 in the fall. He was just 19 on a transport boat taking tanks to shore. Floyd flew above, giving cover.
To me, it looked like every ship and boat in the world was right out there.
The dead bodies were already Washington shore when I got there.
This was to be the longest day.
June 6, 1944, D-Day. The U.S. and its allies stormed the beaches of Normandy, breaking through Nazi defenses, a massive assault that would lead to Allied victory. The number of those still alive to tell the stories of that day disappearing
Pretty
fast.
cool seeing.
Their average age.
I think they brought these guys specifically to be like, hey guys, you think Brandon's old? Look, he looks young in comparison to these guys.
Now 100. Ed Berthold is back for the first time at 104 years old. On D-Day, he bombed a key bridge in Saint-Lô. It was only his third mission. Were you scared?
Oh yeah. as you approach the target, the bombs would be going off around you. I hope I don't have one with my name on it.
Along this 50-mile coastline on D-Day, more than 4,000 Allied troops died in the first 24 hours. Ed wrote home the next day.
Dear Mom, just a few lines to tell you we are all okay. We flew mission number 10 on D-Day.
For so many of these vets, coming back is a chance to revisit the past. Dick Rung kept a journal.
It is kind of wild. He is kind of eating right now. He is kind of fucking gagging Biden with his mental fortitude. I'm not going to lie. This is kind of backfiring a little bit. The more I hear him, my goat, my
Dick and
peaceful
Floyd
goat.
say this will be their last trip to these beaches. A place where even 80 years later, they're still remembered as heroes.
Yeah, no shit.
And they really
'Cause they
are
are
superstars here. Everywhere we went with them, people stopped them. They wanted to take pictures, get autographs, salute them, sometimes with tears in their eyes. And
Do they take him there just to flex that they're still here? I mean, yeah, this is probably the last time that they're going to be able to do this. Come on. They're fucking 104.
this trip for them wouldn't be possible without the Best Defense Foundation. They brought 48 vets over this year. Each one travels with a caregiver. They also have a large medical team to make sure that the vets are in good hands. And guys, some of the vets that you just met are going to join another elite group tomorrow, awarded with France's highest military honor, the French Legion of Honor.
Oh,
Guys.
dude, come on. Don't disrespect him like that. Don't disrespect him like that by giving him some French honors, bro. Come on now. That's disrespectful. Honestly, that's disrespectful. You shouldn't do that to them, okay? You should not do that to them. They've seen enough. They've gone through enough. They've done phenomenal things. We shouldn't be doing that to them.
Oh, Kelly
Kubiak.
So moving. Thank you very much.
You know,
What do you think about it?
We throw the word hero around a lot, probably too much. But when you look at these men who were teenagers back then, who literally saved the world.
Terry, like not just like a group of dudes who were making bathtub rockets, but like an actual functional standing militia, basically. Not even a militia, but like a military force. It's always a good idea. Fuck it, YOLO. This is literally just like Adolf Hitlerian military tactics. Let's go invade Russia in the fucking middle of the winter type shit. It's great. Yeah. You joke, but Israel's right is desperate for an invasion of Lebanon. Yeah, it's great. Good stuff. Worked so well for the last time a fascist, ideologically fascist state engaged in permanent war for, not dissimilar reasons. Living room, as they called it. Lebensraum.
Let's bring in CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayeb now. He's following all of this for us from Tel Aviv. Imtiaz, what more are we learning about the attack, who was behind it, and what the motivation may have been?
Alana, good to be with you. Well, what we do know is that a Syrian national is in hospital right now after he was shot in that shootout. Lebanese forces still investigating what sounds like a really alarming situation at the U.S. Embassy just outside of Beirut, in a Beirut suburb. I've been to this embassy, and I can tell you, it is a very heavily fortified place. In order to get anywhere near the main building, you have to go through several checkpoints, several searches. And so it is a very, very secure area. Still, the fact that the shootout took place and lasted as long as it did is really begging a lot of questions. Now, in terms of motive, there's no clear motive at this stage, as investigators still try to understand what happened outside that very secure embassy. Guys.
Well, Imtiaz, let's talk about the Israel component, because Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel...
Your hatred of Israel is making you ignore how successful the 2006 war against Hezbollah was? Yeah. Famous Israeli dubs.
...is prepared to take strong action in the north as the military is ramping up its presence along the country's border with Lebanon. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, pretty much since the beginning of the war in Gaza, there's been rhetoric here in Israel saying just that. But the timing of this statement from Mr. Netanyahu, I think, is ringing a lot of alarm bells in capitals around the world, and not least in Washington. And the reason there's a concern there is that we know that there is this Israeli proposal to end the war in Gaza, which could see a ceasefire. And the concern is if that happens and the hostages are released, that the Israeli Prime Minister will turn his attention to the north of the border. You have to remember, again, since October 7th, 60,000 Israelis have been displaced from northern Israel as Hezbollah, which is an Iranian-backed armed and political faction in Lebanon, exchange nearly daily fire with Israel. In fact,
like right now, right now is a classic back and forth. Okay, northern Israel is getting fucking shellacked, southern Lebanon is getting shellacked, and vice versa. Okay, constantly. The dynamic changes dramatically if Israel decides to move in troops or increases attacks or increase the area of impact. All of a sudden, the rather ascetic Hezbollah that obviously has like concerns with civil governance and therefore is not, pushing in any sort of or not doing any sort of like serious military campaign, is forced into the battle. Like the reason why I think, the reason why post October 7, like even though it was a clear boundary break for any kind of like Iranian proxy or any of the axis of resistance against Israel and America in the region, the fact that they did not move in a way, in an expected way, was because the Lebanese. Oh shit. Oh no. How the fuck did I miss this? Sorry. The reasons as to it's fine. It's not a big deal. Wait, what? Oh, it just happened actually. Hold up. Yeah, someone said miss creatine pill delivery. I did. What? No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I just got my creatine pills. Let's fucking go. I got my creatine pills. Let's go. What I was saying was, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, the reason as to why Hezbollah did not move towards Israel beyond like bombing northern Israel was because, you know, Lebanese economy is not doing great. It's not doing great at all. They don't have like they can't withstand like dramatic bombing campaigns like previous Israeli incursions into Lebanon. You know?
Villages along the border in southern Lebanon have been reduced to ruins. About 150,000 Lebanese are also displaced from their homes. It is an extremely volatile border and a rather extremely volatile situation. And very quickly, if Israel were to engage into an overt war with Hezbollah, it would be very different from what we see in Gaza. Hezbollah has an arms arsenal that is far greater than Hamas could ever dream of. And Hezbollah, which is a hardened fighting force after years of fighting in Syria. So this is very alarming if it does happen. Guys.
And Imtiaz, I want to ask you about a domestic topic. I know that Israeli police have been deployed ahead of today's Jerusalem Day flag march. Speak to us about some of the preparations amid what's growing tensions.
Oh, yeah. It is fucking, of course, it's Jerusalem Day, which means, you know, which means the Israeli clan, the inbred Hicks of Israel, are going to get extra fucking rowdy today. A herd of settlers assaulted the Palestinian journalist Saif al-Khawazmi in occupied Jerusalem. Absolute fucking freaks. Flag Day in Israel, baby. Just doing some regular old Nazi shit, dude. Let's go. You can't directly compare the Lebanese economy with Hezbollah. They're not the state military, and since 2006, their numbers in arms have grown significantly. They've been taken down. Wait, it doesn't matter. They still have, Hezbollah also has civil governance in mind as well, though. Like, they can't just fucking move like a simple standing military. They have state considerations in mind. Like they have to operate like as a political actor on top of, like they can't just behave like a rogue military. They can't behave like a rogue military. So that is the reason why they are also tied to Lebanese interests across the board. We'll talk about Jerusalem Day in a second, Flag Day in a second.
There.
Yeah, very tense. In fact, we were in Jerusalem, in the Old City, as that march started. And I have to be honest with you, it was extremely hostile. Although there's around 3,000 Israeli border police and police, who have been deployed to keep the peace there, that's certainly not what we experienced. Our team was shoved and kicked as we were trying to film outside the Damascus Gate in Jerusalem. So as you can imagine, it's a very tense scene there. We also have...
They knew we were Christians. They started spitting on us. It's really fucked up. But also, Israel is still the most moral nation on the planet. So we said, please, sir, thank you. Thank you for spitting on me, I said to the 14-year-old inbred psychopath, spitting directly in my vicinity as he called me a Christian dog. It was okay.
Heard reports of other journalists being very severely beaten by these young men, predominantly, who take part in this march. A march which has, over the years, become a day or a rally.
It was cool. It was cool. It was like, I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was valid. I deserve it.
Point for far-right extremists in Israel to march through the streets of the Old City, the Muslim quarter of Jerusalem, where many Palestinians live, chanting phrases like "death to Arabs" and "we will burn your village." So as you can imagine, it is an extremely tense and extremely fraught.
Is it? Bro, it's a Nazi march, man. What the fuck are we doing here? There is no world in which a Nazi march like this gets this kind of coverage where they're doing Nazi shit, specifically fucking trying to do pogroms to Palestinian shopkeepers. And you're like, well, it was really tense. No, it's a Nazi march and they're doing Nazi shit. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
Time. And for our team, it was a bit of a rough time as well, guys.
Pretty eye-opening experience. MTS tie-up, thank you very much.
Oh, it's the eye-opening experience. It's so shocking. Yeah, death to Arabs was being chanted at the perfectly normal, definitely not Nazi march. It's only eye-opening if you actually do open your eyes to the fucking reality and turn around and realize that this is this is Israel, okay? This is Israel. The protection that these guys get is, and the fact that they do this every fucking year is not simply a fringe extreme moment, okay? This is functionally government sanctioned. And as a matter of fact, it's so government sanctioned that the people that are participating in this are in the fucking government, okay? We're talking about the finance minister. We're talking about the minister in charge of the police and demolitions, okay? Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, both settlers, both exactly like these fucking demons. The idea that this is like unique or fringe, oh, I can't believe it, is ridiculous. These motherfuckers do like, it's like having the Patriot Front, you know, those like federal agent looking Nazis that fucking go around and protest. It's as if they were doing it in a black neighborhood while specifically beating up black people and destroying black businesses. And you had, I don't know, like Mike Johnson go and march with them and speak about how cool it is that we're beating on black people. Like, America is a white supremacist nation. I bring this up all the fucking time. But like the overt fascism that you can see on any given day inside of Israel, both Israel proper and including the occupied territories, is unimaginable. Okay? They're doing they're doing Charlottesville Unite the Right rallies on a regular basis every year. And it's like people don't look at this as, history repeating itself. Look at that. Look. Oh, it's so fringe. It's so crazy. Ben-Gvir shattering the status quo. Jerusalem is ours. Damascus Gate is ours. The Temple Mount is ours. Today, in accordance with my policy, Jews prayed freely on the Temple Mount. We say in the simplest way, it is ours. Now, if you don't know what that's about, here's Barak Ravid's reporting on it. Israeli Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who is in charge of the Israeli police, says his policy is that Jews can pray freely at the Temple Mount / Haram al-Sharif compound, a violation of the status quo in a sensitive and holy site. The reason why he wants to do that is so that they can fully take it over. The reason why he could do that is so that is so that there are clashes there and that they can just bring in the fucking police again and brutalize the Palestinians. Yeah, he's like, I want to convey a message to Hamas and every home in Gaza.
יש תמונות של ירושלים, ואנחנו אומרים להם ירושלים שלנו, שער שכם שלנו, הר הבית שלנו. היום, לפי המדיניות שלי, נכנסו לעיר העתיקה יהודים בתנועה חופשית, וגם בהר הבית התפללו בצורה חופשית. אנחנו אומרים בצורה הכי פשוטה, זה שלנו, זה המסר לחמאס. אני מתפלל על הפצועים, מתפלל לשחרור החטופים, אבל אומר את החמאס ואת החיזבאללה צריך לנצח במלחמה, רק במלחמה, וזה שלנו. הר הבית שלנו, שער שכם שלנו, שידעו את זה בכל העולם.
Like, you guys need to understand, this is a hey, get out of there. Go. Place. Like the last intifada, The last intifada occurred as a consequence of fucking around in this exact same way, okay? And this is worse than that. The second intifada, which led to, you know, bombs and fucking bus stops and shit. Would you say this is the worst event since 1948? What do you mean? Yes, the last 8 months have been objectively worse than 1948. I mean, more death and more destruction. We'll see what happens at the end of the 8-month campaign. How many, I mean, millions of Palestinians displaced currently. Yeah. The second intifada occurred after Ariel Sharon walked onto Al-Aqsa with Israeli police and settlers. Okay? They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're trying to fucking egg on the Palestinian population further after doing a fucking ethnic cleansing so they can pack up the West Bank too. Further pack up the West Bank. Prime Minister's office denies the claim. Israel Prime Minister's office pushes back on Ben Gvir's statement. It says the status quo at the Temple Mount hasn't changed. It will not change. I'm taking my creatine pills. Yeah. It's the classical provoke and revenge strategy which Moshe Dayan masterminded. Why is Israel even going so hard? They aren't allowed to take any territory by our American government, right? Come on, dude. They are the American government. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Another not so fun fact is that Israel has killed 500 plus Palestinians in the West Bank since October 7. In the West Bank. Not Hamas, in the West Bank. Okay? Not Gaza, in the West Bank. In occupied Palestinian land that Israel illegally occupies. We've already talked about, we've already talked about the supposed architectural reason or archaeological reasons as to why, Israel is digging deep under the Al-Aqsa Mosque and most likely undermining the foundations of the Al-Aqsa Mosque for years and years at this point. They're trying to destroy it. The Israeli ICC judge just resigned. Oh my God. Israel's appointed judge of the International Court of Justice resigned, citing personal reasons. Retired Supreme Court President Aharon Barak has resigned from his position as judge at the hearing concerning South Africa's petition accusing... No, this is not ICC. This is ICJ. In Gaza, citing personal reasons. Oh, shit. Anyway, things are not looking great is my point, okay? They're not looking good at all. Well, not the ICJ thing. This... Literal Hitler Youth? Oh, 100%. 100p. Like, think about it this way. Pre-October 7 discourse among the progressive pro-Palestinian camp was that it's a faux pas to make comparisons to Nazis in Israel. It's no longer a faux pas. Pure fascism. Here is Omdim Be'achad on so-called Jerusalem Day. Droves of young West Bank settlers come to Jerusalem to attack Palestinians in the old city. Standing together, activists are there, and they try to provide protective presence, de-escalate, and force the police to stop right-wing violence. But of course, they still fail ultimately because these fucking douchebags are the ones that the police are there to protect, really. Didn't the new anti-Semitism bill make it illegal to compare Israel to Nazi Germany? Yeah, you can suck my dick, dude. Put me in fucking jail. Okay. Yeah. This is the death to Arabs chant that they were doing. Let's see what Nir Hassan said here. The rifle is also strong this year. Oh, this is, I don't know what kind of fucking new and unique evil dumb fuck shit this is, but or maybe it's old. I'm not familiar with it. When I see yellow, if it's not I mean, if I see yellow with Arabic lettering, I think Hezbollah. When I see yellow with Hebrew or the Star of David on it, I think Kahanis. I don't know if it's Kahanis or not, but usually, like, the Kahanis flag is yellow. I don't know if this is a Kahanis flag. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But who are the purple vests? Yes, the purple vests are Omdim Be'achad, which is Hebrew for standing together. They are a Israeli organization comprised of both Israeli Jews and also Palestinian citizens of Israel. They are, I would say, probably the most popular progressive movement in Israel. Like, they're nowhere near as popular as like the genuine anti-Zionist leftists in Israel, but they are, you know, they do a lot of good work for sure. Considering how fucking unimaginably fascist Israeli society and of course the Israeli government is, you know, they're pretty good. Where did all these kids come from? Did they travel just to do Nazi shit? Yes. They came from the West Bank, probably Hebron. I don't know. I mean, that's where like a lot of the most rabid ultra-Zionist settlers are. But yes, they come from the West Bank to Jerusalem to beat the shit out of Palestinians. No, they're not from Brooklyn, okay? No, not all of those guys are from Brooklyn. Many of them are just like fucking straight up from there. They were born in a fucking illegal settlement. We'll talk about Matt Miller getting cooked again. They are there to normalize apartheid. BDS has even called them out specifically, and BDS isn't even that radical. So many of them are from New York. I'm not joking. I was there today. No, listen, I know there are more than 75,000 American citizens with dual nationality with Israel that live in the West Bank alone, okay? In occupied illegal settlements. These people are technically doing what is known as settler terrorism, okay? As in their presence in this land that does not belong to them is actually an act of terror. Beyond that, they also engage in like the regular acts of terror that you are seeing unfolding in front of your eyes. Okay? How is mainstream media literally not covering this Nazi shit? It's insane. Goes to show that America is squarely a fascist state. They're not covering this in the same for the same exact reasons as to why they didn't offer a lot of coverage to the Mossad activity with the ICC prosecutor Ben Suda. That was the Guardian's own reporting. And yet, for some weird reason, it didn't get a lot of fucking play in American news. The reason why it doesn't get a lot of play in American news is because it makes Israel look really fucking bad. Okay? That's it. It makes them look really bad. You can't really spin this. It makes them look really bad in a way that Americans can understand as well. Because this type of shit, Americans can contextualize as well. They don't just see the Star of David and go, oh, these guys must be the good guys. They look at those guys, they hear what they're saying, they see their actions, and they go, oh, I know what this is like. This is exactly like the fucking Klan. This is exactly like the Hitler Youth. This is exactly like the insane right-wing militias doing mob violence and looking to lynch people. So that's what it is. So you're not going to see a lot of this, just like you don't see a lot of coverage from the West Bank in general, because the violence in the West Bank is something that Americans and the Western world can contextualize much better than the rubble, the cities reduced to rubble that you see in Gaza. When you see the cities reduced to rubble in Gaza, you think, oh, this is just like Syria. Oh, this is just like Iraq. This is just like Afghanistan. It's just a bunch of Muslims that are, you know, getting punished for being radical or scary or violent and barbaric. Americans are trained to see city blocks being reduced to rubble in Muslim areas. They know that is like they think that is somehow permissible. They've been taught that is actually valid due to all of the propaganda surrounding the war on terror, the failed war on terror. But when you see West Bank violence against Palestinians indigenous to the land, Palestinians being brutalized by fucking random inbred religious fundamentalist hicks. Okay, like this, and they're fucking spawn of Satan children. Okay, these fucking demon dipshits assaulting fucking assaulting the press. Okay, when you see shit like that, when you see this, all of a sudden you go, whoa, whoa, whoa! I know what that is. This is ridiculous. This is unacceptable. Like, I think Jacob, y'all remember Jacob? Oh, if I don't steal this, someone else will. Jacob from fucking Long Island. I think he was either from Brooklyn or Long Island. Like, that was literally like a genuine moment where a lot of people that were first being introduced to this concept, okay, immediately understood what the fuck was going on. Okay, you see that guy, you see Jacob go, oh, if I don't steal your home, someone else will. All of a sudden, with a fucking Brooklyn accent, you're like, oh, I know what's going on here. This is fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No.
Yeah, like, I'm not even exaggerating, by the way. This is just straight up. Like, that is exactly what he said.
No one is allowed to steal.
This is in Sheikh Jarrah, which is occupied East Jerusalem. There is obviously a policy of like home stealing in Sheikh Jarrah. Occupied East Jerusalem directly has a demographic number, a demographic percentage that the Israeli government officially has for East Jerusalem. Like, they want to make East Jerusalem a specific percentage Jewish. Okay, it is territory that is supposed to be contested. This was absolutely a radicalizing moment for many people who had never actually understood what the fuck was going on, maybe didn't pay attention. Why? Because everybody knows when you got a motherfucker from Brooklyn going in to you know, another person's home being like, this is mine now, I stole it. You go, what the fuck? What is happening here? Anyway. This is the type of shit when you see in the Western world, even if you're like completely uninitiated with what the fuck goes on in Israel, you can understand it in Western terms. Okay, there's a clear good guy, bad guy situation. There isn't enough like justifications that stick. This is a reality that many liberal Zionists, even in Israel, understand. That's part of the reason why they're so fucking mad at like the West Bank settlers in many different instances, obviously for a multitude of different reasons, but this is one of them. Many liberal Zionists personally understand that if you want to maintain the Zionist project, if you want to maintain the apartheid, if you want to fucking keep Israel the way it is, demographically pure, okay, with a Jewish majority, a Jewish ethno-state for Jews, you can't have this kind of shit happening on a regular basis because the Western world sees that and goes, oh, what the fuck? This is insane. Yeah, many liberal Zionists hate settlers because they're giving the game up. They're fucking up the bag. They're fucking up the apartheid bag. Yo, Hassan, I tried showing this to a conservative coworker of mine to try and humanize Palestinians, and he reverse carded me and said that sucks, but it happens here too, and pointed to squatters. How would you handle that? That's a great fucking example. How does he want to handle a squatter that comes into someone's family home? It's not like that's empty fucking real estate. There's a family directly living there, and he's just taking their fucking house. That's very different than squatting, which is an empty fucking building. But even then, ask your fucking right-wing coworker how they would handle some random fucking freak breaking into their home and being like, this is mine now. Okay? What would your right-wing coworker do in that situation? They would fucking bust out the blicky and pop him in the fucking head. Okay? That's exactly what they would do. That's crazy. The mob moved on. This happened during a march, the flag march. Saif is okay-ish. This is all like a final update of his on his condition. What is this? Seen the fucking state of this? NHS staff will be banned from showing Palestinian flags at work, the health secretary says. Yeah, fuck them. Why'd you make it look so bad? It's not that bad. Yes, I know. It's not as bad as the top of the hour ad break, which you are trying to fucking debate me into serving. And that bait is actually worse than anything I could have shown you. If you think that that is like good bait, you're wrong, okay? At the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, okay? Can you describe what makes Israel fascist specifically and how they operate domestically? This isn't a gotcha. I mean, what do you think this is? Like, what do you think we're looking at right now? Zionism is a fascist ideology, okay? It's all it is. It is about one group of people with certain characteristics, inalienable, unchangeable genetic characteristics. Judaism is an ethno-religion, dominating anyone who is not a part of that in-group, dominating them through violent means. It is an ideology built around the justification of settler colonial violence. The difference is settler colonial violence in general predates the fascism of contemporary history, so we just didn't dictate it or we didn't acknowledge it as fascism. The only difference is Israel's doing the same settler colonial violence that many of the Western world was built on, including the United States of America, in 2024 in fucking broad daylight.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Israeli politics explained. What is this? I'm not going to watch this right now. Yeah. Fascism is easily identified as blood and soil. Zionism is about blood and soil, 100%. Nazi Germany also had a settler colonial project. Exactly. Lebensraum. So, literally the same shit. Current ruling coalition. Also a reminder that 500. Okay. How fucked history is, where Jewish people went through a genocide and now they're doing one to people they consider the enemy. I mean, I think the most fucked up part is that the Israeli government is claiming that they're doing this for Judaism. Okay? This is not being done for Judaism. There's no Judaism here. Okay? This is just straight up fascist nonsense. Okay? You're not getting an invite to the Zionist cookout? Yeah, I know. Well, trust me, I'm not interested in eating shittier, watered down versions of the food of the areas that I grew up in. Okay, I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm missing out on fucking absolutely nothing. Yeah, I'm missing out on the worst dog shit techno music being played by dudes wearing capri pants. Tight ass capri pants, serving me the absolute fucking worst food. In many instances, food of my people as well. I'm good. I'm good on that completely. Miss me with that entirely, I think. What is that? So why is Spectator saying Tel Aviv is the world best cities for food 2023? Wait, what? Who cares, dude? They're British. What do they know about food?
Tonight, President Biden is walking a fine line with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, offering some of his harshest criticism yet. In a new interview with Time magazine, the president was asked whether he thought Netanyahu is prolonging the war for his own political self-preservation. He said, "I'm not going to comment on that. There is every reason for people to draw that conclusion." That response is drawing backlash from Israel.
It is outside the diplomatic norms of every right-thinking country to comment on the leaders, whether they should be a prime minister or not be a prime minister.
Today, I asked the president to clarify, and he walked the comments back. Is Prime Minister Netanyahu playing politics with the war?
I don't think so. He's trying to work out a serious problem he has.
Asked by Time whether Israeli forces have committed war crimes in Gaza, President Biden answered that it's uncertain and has been investigated by the Israelis themselves. The president also saying he did not think Israel was starving civilians intentionally, but I think they've engaged in activity that is inappropriate. Still, even after this warning to Israel last month,
If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons.
the U.S. is still backing its ally. Now, with ceasefire negotiations stalled, today the White House National Security Advisor met with families of the hostages, including Omer Nutra's mother.
Once again, we're in this cycle where everyone is waiting on an answer, right? We're really, really hoping that the deal goes through.
The president also says his biggest disagreement with the prime minister is about what should happen after the war and whether there's a two-state solution. Lester?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they're not even, you know, Israel's not even lying about it anymore. Israel's just straight up like, nah, dog, no two states. Fuck you. Suck my dick. Cool. That's great. I'm sure we will, any moment now, we'll start punishing them for this very obvious contradictory narrative that they are designing.
With Time magazine, President Joe Biden was asked whether Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is prolonging the siege of Gaza for his own political gain. Biden responded, "There is every reason for people to draw that conclusion."
This is a story.
This comes after the Times of Israel recently.
Yeah, we'll get to this in a second. I don't want to talk about this yet. Oh, the undecided focus groups, man, they're so fucking fire. I really want to investigate that a little bit more. Did you see that Florida has literally been taken over by hogs? We're not going to barbecue our way out of this. Wild pigs conquering all Florida counties are now taking over the U.S. Great. Tifu will deal with them. Tifu's got them.
Story about how Israel uses trees to ethnically cleanse Palestine. It's a story that involves...
Oh, yeah. This is like weird eco-terrorism, I guess. I mean, this has been happening since 1948. Very odd. And it actually unironically hurts the ecosystem for Israel too. It's not like it's a very odd thing that they're doing.
Involves European pine trees, international celebrities, and if you've ever donated to this little blue box, it involves you too. The story begins in 1948 when Zionists...
There were literal chatters in here who talked about their own personal experiences with birthright, because this is like baked into Zionist propaganda in the Western world, where people who thought that they were just like planting trees in the most innocent way possible, not recognizing that they were participating in this action that was actually destroying the indigenous ecosystem. Was it Sam Cedar who talked about it originally?
Zionist militias forced over 75% of the Palestinian population
Uncle
out of
Sam
their
talked
homes
about it
and
too,
off
yeah.
their land, emptying and destroying over 500 Palestinian villages. Palestinians called this event the Nakba, which is Arabic for catastrophe.
Oh, it was ham and cheddar.
Israelis mark
Yeah.
this event as their Independence Day.
אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל, היא מדינת ישראל.
Shortly after the State of Israel was created, the state seized and illegally annexed over 240,000 acres of land and property that was classified as abandoned after its Palestinian owners were forced out and barred from returning. This stolen Palestinian land was transferred to an organization by the name of the Jewish National Fund, or the JNF, an international organization with charitable status in countries like the US, Canada, and the UK. But the JNF isn't your average charity. Established in 1901, the JNF has played a key role in the colonization of Palestine, in its early days collecting money for the Zionist movement to buy up Palestinian land for European Jewish colonists, with a mandate to redeem land in Palestine for the purpose of settling Jews. Part of the way the JNF raised money to buy land in Palestine was through these blue tin boxes. By World War II, over 1 million JNF collection boxes had been distributed to Jewish communities all around the world, with each coin dropped into these blue tin boxes going towards land purchases and tree planting in Palestine. But before the Nakba, the JNF wasn't really that successful. As of May 1948, the JNF had only managed to purchase around 3.56% of the land of historic Palestine. But after the Nakba, through the forcible seizure of Palestinian land, that number rose to 13%, over 600,000 acres of land. And with all this new land at its disposal, the JNF embarked on a massive tree planting drive across occupied Palestine, claiming it was planting forests on barren, desolate land, presenting its project to the world as environmental.
Yeah, making the desert bloom is how this is presented to the Western world.
Environmentalism, building family-friendly green lungs across the country. Except these green lungs were conveniently built where Palestinian villages and towns once stood.
It's some real nefarious shit, dude. Like real nefarious shit. Oh, we're you know, there's nothing here. These are abandoned lands. Nobody wanted them. It's like, yeah, nobody wanted them. You had to literally kill and forcibly remove the people off that land, destroy the villages, and then build on top of it.
Greenwashing Israel's wholesale destruction of Palestine.
This is why I say Zionism is fascism, okay? This is why Zionism is fascism.
Palestinian communities, with the intent of not only concealing their remains, but also using forests to confiscate more stolen Palestinian land. And the JNF's tree of choice? This European pine tree. Instead of planting indigenous trees like the olive tree, which had been on the land.
They did this for everything, by the way. They destroyed Arab villages and tried to Hebrewize the Arab villages by giving them new Hebrew names. They destroyed Arab villages and planted pine trees. They killed the indigenous olive trees that take hundreds of years in certain instances to grow, and literally built fucking planted pine trees on top of it to Europeanize the area.
Land for centuries, the JNF instead opted for trees indigenous to Europe, trees that would later prove to be flammable under West Asian heat and extremely detrimental to the land. Why this tree? Well, because settlers didn't just want the land, they also wanted it to look like Europe, transforming the Levantine landscape into something European Jewish settlers would feel at home in. So one by one, Palestinian villages were emptied and destroyed, and man-made forests...
Bro, these freeways smack dab in the middle of Chicago are just to get people into our diversity where they need to go. Come on.
Nature and recreational parks filled with highly flammable European pine trees.
You're right. We've done it too. Exactly. More modern examples of like personally fucking paving on top of. I mean, Central Park. Central Park is a good example too. Central Park is a direct example of this. Yeah. Racist infrastructure is like white supremacist infrastructure is a, foundational principle for white supremacist countries. Another settler colonial state, the United States of America.
Trees emerged in their place. Al-Lajun became Megiddo Forest. Beit Jiz turned into Rabin Park, and American Independence Park was built on the ruins of 7 Palestinian villages. Through the JNF's environmental work, over 250 million trees were planted throughout historic Palestine, covering up the remains of over 500 Palestinian destroyed villages, all thanks to tax-free donations from Jews and non-Jews around the world. With the blue collection box...
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting question. Can anyone remember another fascist, possibly, nation that took a lot of influence from American settler colonialism and its white supremacist modus operandi, whether it be Manifest Destiny, or whether it be, racial segregation and eugenics. Who was? Oh, that's right. It's the Nazis. That's right. Adolf fucking Hitler. He did that shit too. That's crazy. It almost feels like fascism as a ideology is just constantly ripping other prior fascist formations.
Becoming a sentimental icon that represented a connection to the National Zionist Project, with so many people either donating or planting trees. From politicians of today like Kamala Harris.
I fondly remember those Jewish National Fund boxes that we would use to collect donations to plant trees for Israel.
To iconic celebrities like Frank Sinatra and Elizabeth Taylor, all complicit in greenwashing. But behind the photo ops and little blue boxes is the truth of what lay beneath these forests. Today, more than 2/3 of all JNF parks are built on destroyed Palestinian villages. That's 46 out of 68 national parks. The JNF...
I feel like such a fucking idiot. I grew up hearing about how us Jews care so much about planting trees in the environment. I mean, listen, you're not... It's fine. It's like, how are you supposed to fucking know? Okay? It's about learning. You know, this entire process since 1901 is specifically designed to dupe you and others. Like, there is no reason to keep feeling bad for being duped about this in the past. Like, just move on. It is a very, very it is a very nefarious and very successful marketing campaign. I find that to be a waste of time to be like genuinely upset about who you were in the past and what you believed in the past. As long as you have recognized that it's wrong and you know the truth, then, you know, you just move on and you spread that truth to others around you to do your very best.
Continues to operate in countries around the world using tax-free donations to not only cover up the crimes of the past, but to steal more and more Palestinian land today, in places like the Naqab Desert, where the JNF is working now with the state of Israel to use forestation or the process of planting trees to evict Palestinian Bedouins from their lands and replace...
You weren't completely thrown when you learned about the Armenian genocide when you were young? Not necessarily. It always smelled fishy. And also, the Armenian genocide is recognized. This is way more nefarious than that. The Armenian genocide is not recognized as a genocide, but still, like, death and destruction upon the Armenian population is recognized. It's just in the Turkish propaganda side of it, they say it was a necessary violence because the Armenians were collaborating in the villages with the Russians during World War I and, like, killing children and yada yada yada. So for that reason, it was just like, if you literally look at it, if you look at it with a little bit of skepticism, with a healthy curiosity, you can kind of parse through that propaganda. Same with pogroms against Kurdish people. Yeah, the Turks say the same about Azazas being massacred in Dersim. Yeah. You're like, okay, so there were killings, but you're saying it was justified? That feels a little weird. What's that about? You know, what's that seems odd. So it's not like this shit. This is like, you know, this is so much more holistic and so much more nefarious. It smelled fishy to you, but that's not fishy to 99.9% of Turks. I only know 2 people in Turkey that recognize it, and one of them was my history teacher, and the other is an Armenian guy. Even leftists don't recognize it. No, I know. I'm saying that no. Plenty of people don't recognize it because they've been lied to their whole lives. But my point is, there's still death that they openly admit, right? They still say, well, it was a forced relocation of an entire population of people. Right? It's just about why that happened Turks will say that is a lie. Like the reason why it happened is because, you know, the Armenians were killing people in the villages and collaborating with the Russians, and you know, the justification for it, or the number of deaths, is minimized in Turkey, but then also the justification for it is like seen as valid, right? Like, oh, these are the reasons why it was a necessity. That's just the way it's taught. But it's still recognized that Armenians were killed, right? So I think that opens up the door for you to at least be a little bit more curious about it. And this is not even saying like, oh, Turkish propaganda is like more moral than Israeli propaganda or something like that. This actually means that like there should be more Turks that recognize it. You know what I mean? To be honest, like I think that actually my own personal development on this part of history is part of the reason why I respect anti-Zionist Israeli Jews so much, because I kind of get it in a way that Americans cannot. Americans will never be able to understand like being anti-imperialist in America, because like American imperialism is imperialism overseas is like coming to the recognition of indigenous genocide after the entire population has been genocided is a little bit different, if that makes sense. Whereas like the propaganda is not so utterly baked in. People kind of recognize it in America, but they're like, yeah, it happened in the past. It sucks to suck, that sort of shit. Whereas like being anti-Zionist, being an anti-Zionist Jew in Israel right now is akin to, in many different ways, like openly recognizing the Armenian genocide, and many other pogroms against like other ethnic minorities in Turkey, in a sea of ultra-nationalism running amok. So I get it. I know what you are, you know, going through in that regard. 600,000 dead is a lot to say, not as bad over. Wait, what? I don't think you understood the point I was making.
Them with Jewish settlers, all under the guise of making the desert bloom. This story, and so many others like it, is a reminder of how even the most innocent things, like trees or charities that plant trees, when used by colonial entities like Israel, are often just a cover-up for something much more sinister. This one just happens to be a cover-up that's been 76 years in the making.
Hassan learned about North American Native Indigenous History Challenge? No, this is like identical. What are you talking about? I just straight up said this is settler colonialism through and through. It is almost identical to what Americans did, the early pilgrims. What the fuck? I'm behind on mobile? The fuck do you mean you're behind on mobile? No, you're not behind by an hour. I literally said this like 30 minutes ago. The fuck?
Making.
Anyway, I'm on mobile too, and we're still watching yesterday's broadcast. Anyway, yeah, it's just settler, colonial, genocidal operations. You know, typical shit. It's gross. It is very nefarious to just like mask another form of like ecological terrorism that will bite you in the ass inevitably, mind you, as in the non-indigenous trees that you're planting are non-indigenous for a fucking reason. It means that they're not supposed to grow there. It means that they will, again, cause massive fires, for example, massive wildfires. It will destroy the land. So it ends up like when you destroy the indigenous olive trees and do this thing when you salt, you're basically salting the earth, okay? You're causing the soil to change. That is something that ends up cooking you in the long run anyway. I had a couple of trees planted in my name as a bar mitzvah present. Do you think it's worth reaching out to the org to ask them to chop them down? No, I think it's done. Yeah, they only planted the one type of tree as well, destroying all biodiversity and meaning more wildfires. Yup. That's exactly how Lahaina burnt down non-native grasses that couldn't handle Hawaiian heat and global warming, making heat worse. The drying of native Hawaiian land. Yes, that's what made it so much worse. Now, having said all of this, as you know about the Zionist Project, you know about the fascism, you know about what the fuck's going on, you know about the fact that the International Criminal Court is looking to set up an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. What is the American government doing? Oh, that's right. The American House of Representatives today, or yesterday rather, put forward a sanctions package for the new prosecutor, Karim Khan. We had a sanctions package for the previous prosecutor, Ben Suda, if you recall, for the same exact reason, mind you, daring to criticize Israel, daring to prosecute Israel for its many war crimes. Unacceptable, of course. Just to understand what side of history we're on the wrong side. We're on the bad side, okay? We're on the bad side of history. Now, when people say history won't look it won't look kindly upon the American population, that only means if Israel and the American government falls at the end of the day. Only then will we correctly and accurately describe the historical events that are unfolding in front of your eyes. Because otherwise, it'll be just like the Armenian genocide and the way that it's mentioned in Turkey, or the indigenous genocide, both in Australia, Canada, and the United States of America, 3 settler colonies. And the way that we talk about that indigenous genocide will be how the way people talk about the Israeli genocide of the native population. Hopefully, that is not what will happen. You know, that's why I try to use my time and all of my efforts in the best ways possible to educate people and try to change the trajectory. Now, having said that, as I mentioned, we have decided to invite Benjamin Netanyahu, the war criminal, to the United States of America in an effort, in a moment of bipartisanship. Moment of bipartisanship. How beautiful. God, I love America so much. I love bipartisanship. I'm a fucking dumbass. Mike Johnson, Michael Penis, alongside Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, has invited Bibi Netanyahu to speak to the American Congress.
In an interview with Time magazine, President Joe Biden was asked whether Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is prolonging the siege of Gaza for his own political gain. Biden responded, "There is every reason for people to draw that conclusion." This comes after the Times of Israel recently reported that an aide for Netanyahu told families of the hostages currently in Gaza that Netanyahu's government will not agree to end its war in Gaza in exchange for a deal to release those remaining in captivity. We should say that was a week ago. 2 far-right parties that are part of Netanyahu's governing coalition are explicitly threatening to quit the government if the deal is accepted, which would then collapse the Netanyahu government entirely. All of which makes it odd that Netanyahu has been extended the extremely rare privilege of addressing the United States Congress as soon as next week by all 4 bipartisan leaders of Congress, particularly given the fact that one of them, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, has already called for Netanyahu to resign. And the fact that Netanyahu has spent his entire career actively working to get Republicans elected over Democrats here in the U.S., to say nothing of the moral catastrophe that his war in Gaza has wrought on Palestinians, where the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is seeking an arrest warrant for Netanyahu on allegations of war crimes. Senator Bernie Sanders is independent Vermont. He's chairman of the Health Education.
Change your batteries, pal. Are you talking to me? Because the beep is not coming from my house.
Labor and Pensions
Coming
Committee.
From the video.
He recently announced he will not be attending Netanyahu's speech before Congress. Senator, was the Democratic caucus in the Senate given input into this decision to invite him, or a heads up?
Of course, that's a good question. And to the best of my knowledge, there has been very, very little debate on this decision. And I think I speak not just for myself, but for a number of other senators who think that that decision is a very, very bad one. You do not honor a foreign leader by addressing a joint session of Congress who is currently engaged in creating the worst humanitarian disaster in the modern history of this country. Obviously, as we all know, Israel has a right to defend itself.
Oh, boo, 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 Bernie, boo.
Against Hamas terrorism and the terrible
You don't
attack.
have to say that, bro. You just don't. You don't have to say it. It's been 8 months, dog. It's been 8 months, big dog.
Of October 7th. But what it is doing now is going to war against the entire Palestinian people. And what we are seeing now is starvation and famine impacting thousands and thousands of children. The architect of that policy is not somebody you honor by bringing to the United States Congress, in my view.
I want to play for you something that the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, had to say about you specifically, because I want to give you an opportunity to respond. He's one of the 4 leaders that invited Netanyahu. And this is what Speaker Johnson had to say about your objections to Netanyahu coming. Take a listen.
This is a time to choose a side. If Bernie Sanders wants to side with the terrorists, that's so be it. And if other Democrats want to do that, it's on them. But I'm telling you, I pray and hope and expect that most of the members of the House of both parties and the Senate will join us for this historic address.
He's like, we don't want no bad Jews. Okay? We only want the good Jews, you know? The kind that need to live in the desert, as a matter of fact, when I send their asses out there. Okay? You understand me? The bad Jews we'll send to hell right now. The good Jews, they'll go to hell when the rapture happens. I'm Mike Johnson, and this is how I feel about the Jews. #1 ally of Israel in Congress.
What do you say to being accused of siding with the terrorists if you do not join?
I mean, it is a
You think Christian Zionists are anti-Semitic? I don't think Christian Zionists are anti-Semitic. I know Christian Zionists are anti-Semitic. It's because Christian Zionism is an anti-Semitic concept. Okay? It is built upon the idea that Jews go to the desert away from us, okay? They use their magic money powers in the desert away from us, us good Christians of the faith, okay? And then the ones that don't convert to evangelical Christianity burn in hell eternally when the rapture happens, okay? They all die at the end of Christian Zionism. They all die. All the Jews die, okay? The only ones that get sucked into the heavens are the ones that are born-again Christians at that moment.
Disgusting lie. He said it yesterday. He said it again today. And I guess, you know, if you are part of the MAGA group, right-wing Republicans, big lies are what you do. You just say lies over and over again, and you hope people believe them. As I have said from literally day one of this terrible war, what Hamas did is atrocious. Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, is a war criminal. He should be in jail. And Israel had every right in the world to defend itself against Hamas.
Like, the reason why this argument is inherently self-defeating is like, okay, so if it was only 5,000 babies that Israel fucking slaughtered, then you'd be fine with it? Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? Like, people will say, oh, he has to say this. Bernie has to say this. I think it's copium. Okay? I think it's copium from people who want to maintain the position that, like, Bernie Sanders is woke. It's just like any moment that you spend right now, even remotely justifying Israel's actions and not calling it what it is, genocide, is a moment that you are lending credence, is a moment that you're lending credence to, like, Israel's military occupation and actions in Gaza in general.
But what Johnson is doing is what right-wing people always do. Back in the day, if you stood up for civil rights or social justice, they called you a communist.
For the record, I don't think it's pragmatism. I don't think it's pragmatic. I think it's complicity. That's it. I love Bernie Sanders. I will always love Bernie Sanders. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just this is the one issue where I think he's at best a liberal Zionist. He is not as progressive as Israeli Jewish members of the Knesset, like Dr. Ofer Kasif, for example. It's just not a thing that he is going to be woke on. And it's not even the distinction of like anti-Zionism or pro-Zionism or anything like that. I'm not, like, I don't care what he calls himself. He doesn't have to be like, I'm an anti-Zionist or whatever, you know. He doesn't have to say any of that shit. Straight up wrong about this one? No. You can't, as a lifelong socialist who has demonstrated an ideological commitment to an ideological commitment to ending Western chauvinism, okay, for most of your career, most of your political career, turn around and reiterate Western chauvinist principles in the midst of an ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign. Okay? I love Bernie. You know I love Bernie. Come on, guys. And I will always love Bernie. Okay? And pre-October 7, I would go so far as say Bernie Sanders was one of the, if not the most aggro anti-Israel politician on the record. Okay? It was unheard of in contemporary American politics to say we have to do conditional aid to Israel. Like, we are going to stop the money faucet if they keep doing violence to the Palestinians. Bernie said that. Okay? He did. And he still does, to a certain degree, continue to say that. Which is wild to see him not assume the same stances that, like, many of the other politicians now that are active in Congress, influenced by his courage to be an open socialist, to say he's a socialist for years and years. Like, for him not to be leading that charge right now is really sad to see. Okay? That's it.
If you are prepared to take on Netanyahu's outrageous war against the Palestinian people, I suppose now they claim that you're sympathetic to terrorism. It is a lie, and I really am not happy with what he is saying.
It's more than rhetoric. I should note that the House today, a bipartisan vote, a minority of Democrats voting for this provision, I think only about 40, and a vast majority of Republicans voting for it. They passed legislation today that would sanction.
Yeah, like, thank you. This is a great question from I Am Not a Paranoid Schizo. Says, what part of Israel's actions after October 7th could possibly be considered defense? It's not even an accurate description. Exactly. You're 100% correct. Everything isn't all or nothing. You can hold two separate beliefs at the same time. No, in this circumstance, you are basically lying at the behest of a genocidal apartheid regime when you say, when you masquerade Israel's genocidal actions, because, like, it didn't take long for the Israeli defense minister to say, we are fighting human animals. We will cut their fucking food, water, and electricity off. Okay? That was like October 9 or 10. The fuck do you mean? Israel was already using white phosphorus by the end of October. That was 8 months ago, Chad. What the fuck are you talking about? How is that defensive in any capacity? It's not. When you even remotely claim that these are defensive actions, but they've just gone, they've gone on for far too long, you're basically saying all the early stuff, I was with it. And he was with it. That's why he didn't fucking demand an end to it for months.
Impose sanctions against the International Criminal Court for its move to issue arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other officials for war crimes in the nation's war against Hamas. The bill is unlikely to get a vote in Democratic control.
Someone is upset. You are just wrong. Just know that Hamas is a terrorist organization. Yeah, dude. Yeah, keep repeating it over and over again. I'm sure that it will change. I'm sure it will change the outlook that everyone sees, that Israel is committing an ethnic cleansing campaign. Okay? Israel does not have a right under international humanitarian law under the rules and regulations of the international rule-based order to defend itself, quote unquote, in an offensive campaign as a belligerent occupier on a open air prison that it is set. Okay, Gaza, even after 2005, was still functionally under the control of the Israeli state. Okay, they did not have their own sovereign. They do not have their own sovereignty, no matter how much Israel lies about that shit. They did not have trade. They did not have a fucking airport. They did not have their own ports. All matter of commerce going into Gaza was controlled by Israel. That is the actions of a belligerent occupier. Kill them all. We stand with Israel, says Feature Ibrahima. Yeah. Thank you for immediately demonstrating your obviously genocidal sentiment. We didn't have to, pry it out of you. You voluntarily gave it up. You are a Nazi. Okay? I don't think I'm the upset one. I think you are the upset one. By the way, Mehtakar, thank you for the 50 gifted subs. I forgot to mention it. That happened 5 minutes ago. Sorry. Anyway. You're just wrong on all points. Brother, you just said kill them all. We stand with Israel. How do you think that is even remotely redeemable? Once you say that, everyone knows exactly what you are. Okay? Like, what do you mean? I think you have to understand. I think you have to understand something, okay? You might be whipped up in a frenzy, right? You might be whipped up in a frenzy. You might have an in-group of people that are in your immediate vicinity that share the same kind of genocidal sentiment and genocidal attitude that you have. But when you leave that group, the reason why many Israelis currently feel alone in the world and think that like anti-Semitism is on the rise everywhere, which it is, by the way, anti-Semitism is on the rise, but like that, like the UN is anti-Semitic and Hamas, or all of these instruments of justice, international justice, are actually completely controlled by Hamas. The reason why you feel that way is because you are rabidly genocidal, and you cannot comprehend a world where other people look at this and maybe aren't as invested in the Zionist fascist project and see it for what it actually is. You can't say kill them all, we stand with Israel, and then maintain this posture that like this is defensive and that you're actually doing a good thing and that people should be on board with it. And a lot of this is born out of, I'm trying to be as charitable as possible with the hopes that maybe, okay, now you're just doing blood and soil propaganda. You already said kill them all, we stand with Israel, and now you've just relegated back to blood and soil propaganda, only furthering the argument that this is 100% just pure fascism through and through. The land known as Israel has a long and rich history dating back to thousands of years. It holds significant value in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions. The ancient kingdoms of Israel and Judah were situated in this region. Okay. He's just copy-pasting Wikipedia. I don't know why, but you're not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth. That facts, bud, you lost. Why do you respond to obvious Hasbro people? I do it because it's pretty easy to fucking... I do it for this reason. Because obvious Hasbro people will come in here and be like, you must be really upset right now, and then immediately demonstrate their fucking perspective like that. They fold so quick. That's the reason. And then they just go, you lost, bud. Which is, again, further demonstration of the hug box that so many Zionists are in. They don't understand it. They will never understand it. They will never understand why so many people around the world now see the truth. Okay? Like, he's arguing against the shadows. He's shadow boxing in the chat and thinking that he's posting his dubs. When in fact, many people look at him and go, dude, that is gross. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Do you understand? And it's the same exact reason why so many Zionists feel alone and cannot understand why the rest of the world looks at them and goes, ew, that's fucking gross. You're doing a genocide. I don't want no business with that. Okay? Genuine question. Do you think this also comes from fear because the Zionist project is failing the propaganda department for once in a long time? No, the propaganda was always going to be a failure because the actions do not match the propaganda itself. The only difference is people are now paying attention to it, paying attention to the actions. And they're seeing that the forward posturing that you hear from Hasbara trolls, it does not match the actual actions that Israel is taking. That's it. And it is that arrogance and entitlement and complacency that was born out of 76 years of a genuine lack of interest, maybe even a calculated lack of interest and propaganda that caused so many Zionists now to show their fucking true opinions about the Palestinian population. They can't reason with it. They can't understand that people go, dude, yeah, that's really fucked up. 36,000 people? No thanks. I don't like that. It's not even a thing. It's just, they just don't understand it, and they get more and more rabid and more angry as time goes on.
Senate, but since I have you here, I suspect you would not support that, but I want to ask you what you think about the House passing.
I mean, needless to say, I wouldn't support it, and it's a terrible idea. But the function of the ICC is, Chris, as you know, is to implement international law, Geneva Convention and other laws that were established after the horrors of World War II. Last year, the ICC said that Putin is a war criminal, which I believe he is, kidnapping thousands of Ukrainian children and starting.
Okay, do you think Netanyahu's a war criminal too then? Like, I don't get it.
In Europe since World War II. He is a war criminal. Recently, last month, they said that Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, is a war criminal for having started this war and the terrible atrocities against innocent Israelis. He is. But you know what? Netanyahu, who is now bringing about an unprecedented humanitarian disaster, destroying housing.
That's the other part of this conversation that also frustrates me to no end, saying Yahya Sinwar started this. Yeah, bro, he started this. Like, come on, dog. You were alive when Israel wasn't a thing. The fuck do you mean? You were literally there. It's crazy. I mean, you were alive when Moses was around, but that's besides the point. Okay, you were alive when Jesus was around. You saw it all. You're 800,000 years old, okay? But the notion that, like, oh, Yahya Sinwar started this is fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a historical nonsense. 76 years? Come on. Hamas started this. Like, there, I can never turn around and act like this is a valid thing to say, because it's not.
The infrastructure, the healthcare system, and creating conditions in which thousands of children could starve to death, you know what? That is a violation of international law as well, and he should be charged with that.
The president came forward and announced an endorsement of the contours of a deal that had been a deal, as far as my understanding, and there's a lot of back and forth on this, so none of this is, it's a little hard to nail down, but the contours of a deal between...
So wait, what is he?
As well, and he should be charged with that.
Yahya Sinwar is a war criminal. Okay. What about Bibi then?
The president came forward and announced an endorsement of the contours of a deal that had been a deal, as far as my understanding, and there's a lot of back and forth on this, so...
I know he was talking about Bibi. I am listening. Even then, he can't get himself to say Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. He's just saying he should be charged with the unprecedented destruction that he is. Oh, you guys are not understanding. Okay, whatever. You're right. He is alluding to it. Even then, though, he can't get himself to like openly fucking say those words.
None of this is, it's a little hard to nail down, but the contours of a deal between Israel and Hamas for release of hostages in exchange for a cessation of hostilities, essentially for some period of time, and then maybe that transitions. It seemed he was attempting to try to stop both sides from backing out of the deal publicly. What is your reaction to
Chatters are so good at picking up on neutral language, okay? Chatters are so fucking quick to call out the New York Times when they do passive voice when describing Israel's actions. Palestinians are never ruthlessly slaughtered. Israelis are ruthlessly slaughtered, mercilessly slaughtered in their beds. They all have lives, dreams, and aspirations cut short by the Hamas terrorists, right? Palestinians, on the other hand, well, they simply perish as a consequence of this naturally occurring phenomena, okay? You are so quick to recognize the neutral tones and passive language when it comes to mainstream media. But obviously, when it's Bernie Sanders doing some of that, okay, while also repeating a lot of ahistorical propaganda that favors Israel's actions to a certain degree, while simultaneously saying it's a humanitarian crisis. Even saying it's a humanitarian crisis alone makes it seem like it could be a byproduct of an earthquake or a tsunami, a volcano exploding, okay? For chatter, I don't think Israelis have a new fear for Zionism. Israelis always exist within this fascist paradox of eternal paranoia regarding the existence of the state on the one hand, and look at how powerful and great we are despite being so small on the other. Both just get more vulgar in times like this, but they're always present. Arabs, Haredi, secular Jews, everyone is somehow an existential threat to the existence of Israel. Yeah. Speaking of Haredis, didn't a Haredi party in the Netanyahu coalition also called for a ceasefire today or yesterday? The Haredis are fucking rising up, dude. They don't want to serve in the goddamn military. Let me tell you, they're like, nope, fuck this shit. Show Bernie stands with a principle. One of you. Show the Bernie stands what a real principle stance looks like.
Every single one of you being here tonight to bear witness of the horror that is now going on in Rafah. 1 million people kettled into Rafah whilst the Israeli forces continue the bombardment. 34,000 already killed. 11,000 of those at least are children.
I don't know if I can show some of this.
The response in Western Europe and the United States is to attack those who demonstrate in support of those who are under attack. Well, that's why we're here tonight, because we are determined to bring about a justice and to bring about an end to the occupation. And so the US and Europe might attack the International Criminal Court. Then Germany might ban Yanis Varoufakis from speaking at a Palestinian event. France might ban Dr. Abu Sitta speaking, but we will carry on whatever they say and whatever their answer is to that. The reality is not going to go away. That millions of people all over the world, just like us here tonight in Whitehall, are meeting, marching and demonstrating in support of the Palestinian people. And I want to say a thank you to all those around the world that have given us so much hope during this time. Students in campuses all across the USA, those in London at SOAS and UCL who are having encampments outside. Because they are the future, they are the people that are showing the way. So be prepared to be here many times more. We ain't going away, we ain't disappearing, we're standing with the Palestinian people.
My fucking goat, dude. That's why he's the best boy. Okay? The absolute best. That's why he's my goat.
to him attempting to do that? And do you have hope that this could happen?
Well, look, I disagree with the president's general policies toward Israel and what's happening in Gaza, but he is trying on occasion to do the right thing. And I think anyone who is aware of the level of suffering and destruction now in Gaza wants an immediate ceasefire. You need massive amounts of humanitarian aid to save, thousands and thousands of children. And of course, Netanyahu, as usual, undermines the President of the United States. And by the way, let's all be clear. This is not some abstract war being fought in another part of the world. We are, to a significant degree, as Americans, our tax dollars are funding this war.
Shahs and UTJ, the two Haredi parties, both came in support of the Israeli proposal, but it wasn't a call for ending the war. They didn't speak on that. They just said, we support the war cabinet's Israeli proposal to return the hostages.
So what Netanyahu is saying, oh, by the way, Mr. President, thanks for that $10 billion for unfettered military aid, but we're not going to listen to you. We're not going to do anything you want. And, I think that's outrageous, and that's, reason number 465 why he should not be invited to speak to the joint session of Congress.
Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you.
But now we're going to get the latest on the Israel-Gaza war. Security officials from the United States, Egypt and Qatar will meet in Doha today to try to revive negotiations.
Little update in this daytime on Supreme Court case. In order to delay a full shutdown of the facility, the state agreed to limit the facility's inmates to 200 in the immediate term and transfer away 500 detainees to other facilities in the short term. Oh, okay. It's estimated that there's 1,000 detainees. Good. That's great. Progress, centrist progress, baby. We only get to torture 200 people instead of the 1,000 that we're currently torturing. And the 500 will just ship them somewhere else where they can get less torture. Not like we won't put an end to the torture, mind you. It's just going to be like less torture. On the other hand, a W for Israeli human rights orgs. On the other hand, it's the court postponing state responsibility when the prosecution has been pushing to close the whole thing down. Yeah. I love the cardigan you're wearing. Loving the grandpa era. I'm not wearing a cardigan. I'm wearing a shirt. Love Chris. He's a naive baby on this issue. He's not a naive baby on this issue. He has to be. Like, what are we talking about? This is his job, bro. What do you mean? It's, this is the most you're going to get. This is the most criticism, most overt criticism you're going to get. It's like thinking I'm a naive baby at the top of the hour when I serve you a 3-minute ad break, I'm not. It's my job. He's an 80-year-old neurodivergent minor. We've gone from the incredible Irish transitions to this. Okay, dude. Fucking chill. All right. Let's continue.
Negotiations on a ceasefire in Gaza.
Here's the 3-minute ad break now. By the way, Calm Like a Tom, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. D-Boy, Do 5, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Allowing 25 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour.
The CIA director, William Burns. The White House says it's still waiting for a response from Hamas on a plan presented by President Biden last Friday. Hamas has insisted that any deal it subscribes to must commit to a permanent ceasefire and also an Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. On Tuesday, the Israeli army launched a new operation against Hamas in the Borej refugee camp in the center of Gaza. Israeli forces are continuing to mount an offensive in the southern city of Rafah. And the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City was the subject of multiple Israeli raids earlier this year. Our Middle East correspondent Yolande Knell has been speaking to rescue workers who have examined the wreckage amid calls for an international investigation into the hospital's destruction.
Amid ruins that reeked of death, Palestinians poured over what was once Gaza's biggest and best-equipped hospital after Israeli forces withdrew. Israel's military raid in March was the second at the site, and it was dramatically destructive. 4 mass graves containing, local search teams say, hundreds of bodies have now been dug up at Al-Shifa, prompting international calls for an investigation into possible war crimes. There are reports of suspicious finds.
We've discovered bodies of women and children and people without heads, as well as torn body parts.
Israel's military says it exhumed bodies which Palestinians had buried earlier as it searched for hostages seized by Hamas. But some of the dead were patients. Walid believes his mother Lina died of malnutrition and dehydration. Her corpse was badly decomposed.
I identified her from particular marks on her legs. She'd been wounded in November and had a toe amputated on each foot.
Israel blames any deaths of patients on natural causes, but the World Health Organization says those trapped endured horrific conditions.
During the siege, 20 patients died, and there were patients on oxygen, let's say, who couldn't get oxygen. There was not proper medication, but also the food and water. There were stories that 15 people had to share one bottle of water.
Israel's army says Palestinian gunmen were based inside Ashifa, and that over 2 weeks it killed more than 200 Hamas and Islamic Jihad operatives.
Shifa has become a main terrorist.
Damn, bro, they're showing fucking Al-Hamas posts? What the hell? Yo, what is going on?
Command center for Hamas. The surprise action by our forces was precise and surgical.
But battles spread onto nearby streets. And here, witnesses have told us that many civilians, including entire families, were also killed by Israeli airstrikes and snipers during the Ashifa raid. A dedicated surgeon, Dr. Ahmed Al-Makadma, was one of those shot dead close to the hospital where he worked.
I'm surprised that any...
I spoke to a top British surgeon who'd helped train him.
He was not just hungry for knowledge, he was a very gentle and somebody who all of us would want to have as our sort of doctors.
Dr. Ahmed was off shift at home near Ashifa when Israeli forces returned. After 4 days under siege and a harsh interrogation by soldiers, he tried to leave Gaza City on foot with his mother Yusra. 11 days after his disappearance, his father Saeed says, we found Ahmed's decomposed body. Israel's military says it's unaware of the deaths of the surgeon and his mother. Many others are still...
Yeah, they're with surgical precision, they're removing surgeons from this planet.
Still searching for loved ones missing since the Ashifa raid. With international forensic experts unable to get to the site, Gazans are mostly focusing on finding the dead and giving them proper burials. And that adds to worries that the full truth of what happened here may never be uncovered. Yolande Knell, BBC News, Jerusalem.
Wow, how surgical. Certainly, I'm having a hard time calling those responsible war criminals and these actions genocidal. Let me tell you.
Now from Paris, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Let me start briefly with this breaking news out of Lebanon, an attack on the U.S. Embassy near Beirut.
Oh, my God. No disrespect, but Jake Sullivan literally looks like Geo Rainbolt here, but like if he went to the beach that makes you old. Rainbolt went to the beach that makes you old.
What can you share with us about what you know?
Well, Savannah, we've been in real-time contact with Embassy Beirut. All American personnel at the embassy are safe.
No disrespect to Rainbolt. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's awesome. All disrespect to Jake Sully.
And accounted for. One local Lebanese guard force member who was outside of the compound was wounded. He's receiving care now, and we're working closely with local authorities to ascertain what exactly happened here to ensure there's no continuing threat, and we'll do all that we need to do to protect our people.
Obviously, there's a conflict in the north that Israel has with Hezbollah and inside Lebanon, and that's just a piece of the larger puzzle here in the Middle East. Where do things stand on this potential ceasefire deal that was announced by the president on Friday? It was described as an Israeli proposal. Then it seemed like Bibi Netanyahu and other advisors backed off from it, kind of distanced themselves. Is it still a live proposal on the table for Hamas?
Yes, it is still a live proposal. It's still an Israeli proposal. Israel's a raucous democracy, so there's a lot of talk and a lot of chatter, but the Israeli government has reconfirmed repeatedly, as recently as today, that that proposal is still on the table, and now it's up to Hamas to accept it. And the whole world should call on Hamas to accept it. The G7 countries just put out a statement yesterday calling on Hamas to come to the table, do the deal, get the ceasefire, get the hostages home. That's what President Biden is focused on.
Well, let's talk about immigration, because the president, of course, yesterday announced that there is an executive action banning most asylum applications once illegal crossings hit that threshold of 2,500 a day. It went into effect at midnight. It gets you a big headline, a tough on the border headline. But immigration officials tell our reporters, analysts say that there's really no ability to carry this out beyond a certain level. They don't have the facilities, the money, the manpower to hold large numbers of migrants in detention or fund their deportations back to their home countries.
Well, first, we believe that this action the president took yesterday to bar migrants who enter unlawfully from seeking asylum will help our Border Patrol agents and our authorities manage the border in a more orderly and humane way. But, Savannah, you're right. At the end of the day, it is not a complete solution, because the only complete solution is one that includes the Congress stepping.
A final solution. We do a little bit of fascism here domestically as well, folks. Don't forget, it's not just the fascism that we ate and abet overseas in Israel, which, I mean, you could consider domestic politics at this point. Israel is an American state, but we do a little bit of domestic fascism in our own border as well. I mean, come on now. So weird to hear the news champion the capping of asylum seekers when I remember them turning into rabid dogs when Trump attempted this. Yeah, because that was Trump doing it. You don't understand. When the Democrats do it, it's good. Come on, dude. When the Democrats do it, it's like there's no other option. We had to do it to them. We had to do it to them for the one time.
Up on a bipartisan basis and providing the funding that President Biden has asked for more agents, more facilities, more capacity. And Congress is not acting on that, and it's not acting on that because Republicans in Congress refuse to put that bill on the floor and vote for it. The president has asked again, including in his speech yesterday, for that to happen. We'd like to see it happen, and we'd like to see it happen on a bipartisan basis as soon as possible to supplement what the president has done.
Well, why? Fair enough, but why did the president wait so long to address immigration? I mean, these border problems are not new.
Yeah, why didn't they do it earlier, huh? Why didn't the fucking president start murking migrants earlier? What's that about? What's that about? Like, no question of, like, this directly contradicts the fucking campaign promises that he made the first 100 days. The media landscape turning right? No, that's a given. The media landscape always turns unimaginably right under Democratic leadership. That's always the case.
New. This is the final 6 months of his first term. Why wait?
Well, first of all, as the president said in his remarks yesterday, he's taken a series of actions at the border. And secondly, and this is critical, he put forward a comprehensive proposal to the Congress that actually the administration worked with Republicans on. That proposal was agreed to several months ago after painstaking negotiations. And then the very proposal that Republicans had agreed to, they decided not to vote for because the leader of their party...
Yeah, that's all true, Jake, but even that was just 6 months ago. The leader of their party turned around and said, don't vote for it. Fair enough. That's all true, but even that was just in December. I mean, the president has been in office since 2021.
Wait, what? Breaking appeals court halts Trump's Georgia election case while appeal on Willis disqualification pending? Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God. I'm so mad. Bro! This was our content. This was our fucking content. The Willis the appeal is set to be after the election. Okay? This was our motherfucking content, dude. This was our content. Appeals court halts Trump's Georgia case during the appeal of order, allowing Willis to stay on the case. This was the one that had this was the RICO case. This was the one that was supposed to have courtroom cameras. This is also the one that I thought would actually do him in. Like, in the sense that you know, maybe even possible jail time, which is crazy. I don't know how that would work. It would trigger a constitutional crisis in general. But this was the one that I thought would be the final blow for Trump's campaign that would absolutely, like, which is, I think, what the Democrats were relying on too, where they thought like, oh yeah, everyone's going to know he's a crook and a phony and a criminal. Now they actually have to try hard. So maybe they'll actually do some good things. I don't know. She fucked it up for us, thirsty ass. I know, dude. I know. Imagine being so fucking thirsty that you had to work with your boyfriend. You had to bring him on here. And then they use that as an opening to just shit on this goddamn. What? And by good things, you mean try out the racist, the right? What? Is this what all the weird shadows in DC felt when you said you weren't going? Maybe. This makes me sad.
This immigration problem is not a new one.
Well, as I said, in his speech, he laid out a series of steps that he has taken at the border to increase capacity, to deal with Mexico and other countries, to reduce the flow, to try to get the numbers under control, to flow resources to our communities so that they can deal with the problem as well. But also, Savannah, I would just point out that one of your questions was, if he has to act on his own, his law enforcement and his Border Patrol agents don't have everything they need, which is why they need more resources from Congress. That required preparation and execution. That's what the president's been focused on since that border deal didn't come through, so that when he made his announcement yesterday, he made it after a period of intense preparation so that it could be an effective policy.
Well, you're getting criticism from the right that you expect. You're also getting it from the left. One Democratic congressman says the president has revived Trump's asylum ban. In denying asylum applications, isn't Biden doing precisely what he excoriated former President Trump for doing when he was in office?
Well, first, there's a major difference between what the president has done and what his predecessor did. His policy does not separate families, does not put kids in cages, does not ban people on the basis of religion.
But the denial of asylum applications.
President Trump did. And critically, it does not shut down asylum. What it does is say that if you come across the border illegally, you are barred from making.
Dude, what do you mean? How are people supposed to apply for asylum, dude? What the fuck are you talking about? That is a legal way to apply for asylum. Yo, that's what asylum is, dumbass. You don't understand, actually. We've decided that, we're not actually shutting off a pathway to seeking asylum, except we literally are. And also, we're making the process in which you can apply even shorter, the window that we can apply even shorter. Nah, bro, they got an app. Yeah, an app that fucking breaks. An app that literally is designed to be faulty and not work.
An asylum claim. There are still lawful pathways to make asylum claims in this country in an orderly and humane way. And the president has gone further than any president in generating those lawful pathways so that people looking to come here to this country with a legitimate claim to come here can do so effectively. So it is night and day, the difference between the policies of this administration and the last one. But the president is not going to shirk from stepping up to take enforcement action that he believes is necessary to ensure order at the border.
White House National Security Advisor, a lot on your plate. As always, Jake Sullivan, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.
President Biden's executive order back here at home giving him the authority to shut the border for asylum seekers. It took effect at midnight. Maria.
Okay, before we get to the Biden asylum shit, okay? Night and day difference insofar as 11 p.m. is technically night and 1 a.m. is technically day. Yeah. There's a really fun report that came out. I asked the question, sad. Yeah, dude, is the solution to immigration open borders is like, yeah, of course. That's such a fucking long and convoluted answer to your question. Like, what do you want me to do? Sit here and fucking talk about that right now? Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, I moved on from your question. You're talking about immigration? No, I moved on from your fucking question because it's like too long for me to describe the minutia, especially when I'm not done with the Israel conversation yet, okay? Jesus Christ, the customer's always right ass attitude from long-term community members. Fucking chill out, please. We'll get back to it, okay? It's one that I have also literally addressed 1,000 times over. You are a 37-month subscriber. How have you never heard me talk about this shit? Oh. Anyway, don't yell at the virtual meal. They're a good chatter usually. Okay? I just got mad because they were like, oh, what the fuck? Why aren't you answering my question? You're donut-walling me. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Anyway. Yeah, the Haaretz New York Times story is really funny. I remember reading the fake reporter story from a few months ago and immediately saying, oh, this absolutely is getting funded by the government. Yeah. So, remember how everybody was fucking complaining about like Russian bots paid for by the Russian government and FSB? Well, you know, obviously when Russia does it is bad. When Israel does it, it's just regular order of business. What I'm, of course, referencing is how Israel secretly targeted U.S. lawmakers with influence campaign on the Gaza war. Compared to the current Russian, Chinese, Iranian campaigns, it is less sophisticated than the tactics currently being used. But yes, it's definitely more sophisticated than in 2016, he says, the author of the article. They made the funniest, dumbest Hasbara bots that they basically fucking flooded the mentions of key congresspersons claiming that they were leftists. They were, you know, black leftists who were pro-Israel. Here it is.
Israel secretly targets U.S. lawmakers with influence campaign on Gaza war. This article is by Shira Frankel and read by an automated voice. Israel organized and paid for an influence campaign last year targeting U.S. lawmakers and the American public with pro-Israel messaging, as it aimed to foster support for its actions in the war with Gaza, according to officials involved in the effort and documents related to the operation. The covert campaign was commissioned by Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, a government body that connects Jews around the world with the State of Israel. 4 Israeli officials said. The ministry allocated about $2 million to the operation and hired Stoic, a political marketing firm in Tel Aviv, to carry it out, according to the officials.
Thank God, bro. You know, tax dollars being used in the best way possible. At least when like China or Russia does this shit, we're not directly paying for it. You know what I mean? In this circumstance, we might be.
Damn, this guy's good.